Okay, victims of crime in the United Kingdom, unfortunately, statutory law, there is no such thing anymore as used to be known years ago as, well, it's still a phone line as victimsupport.org, but there isn't anymore any town and city or in my area in Northants, UK, of any independent support that used to be known. It's run by Ministry of Justice, national funding, change in their statute policy, but then it's also separated up in one's area, Northants Police Force, the public funded part of the public purse, i.e. the council tax, like for the fire service conjunction with whatever services are run by one's area county council, limited by the way, they're public servants, because it dawned on me, hold on, why is somebody trying to email back using a same email and the same from the same website? My mates found out this afternoon, because also found out why I have not been offered since I reported what happened to me on the 24th of the 12th 2018, Christmas Eve, and why they call it forced FCR, force control room, the call handlers. Right, this is a fact. They're using obviously computer databases or computer systems, but it's misleading. The information, the website known as voicenorthants.org is actually not absolutely independent. I'm going about to prove the facts of this. The Voice for Victims or Witnesses Limited Company. A company house registration number for the company is 108400161. Why deceiving the public? Director is the Crime Commissioner, public servant elected, Stephen Graham. You also got two locations, but the head office is absolutely at East House, FNG, Wootton Hall Park. I thought they sold off the land, Northampton, UK, and the postcode. Guess who the CEO is? CEO, Fiona Janet Blarker, I think it's pronounced Cable, and she is the CEO of Voice for Victims and Witnesses Limited. So is the Crime Commissioner, Police and Crime Commissioner's role, public role, as Stephen Graham Mould. What on earth did that not be informed by those that think they are reporting what's happened to them? They have an office space. Restorative Justice is based in Warwick House, first floor. It's known as Cliftonville, Billingbrook Road in one's area, UK. Also, absolutely couldn't believe this. Could not believe this. So, one made inquiries about joint disabilities as unfortunate victim of crime, yeah? And there's my friend found the website out the other day. We found this by finding more information out. The phone number and the website for keepsafenorthants.org goes back to Northants Police. There links back to the website and also links back to Northamptonshire County Council's website. On that, it's been running since 2009. So, hello, you public servants, why have you never offered that service, knowing full well of one's disabilities? And when I got one over, your public servants deliberately didn't turn up in 2009. find things out when you research company house information or fact. You've been running since 2009. Why do you think I don't ring up the police to report anything what's been going on around here ever since either? And when I've caught it on video as well myself. So this is why their website, they call it, I ain't going to show you, they crimed in the statutory law, they crimed the number, but the email my friends checked this afternoon by this company employee, my goodness me, download company documentation. Don't you realise how much the council tax and people's public purses paying into private pensions of 14 employees? That's meant to be helping the victims of crime, but it's actually set up as a limited company. What's that about? That hasn't been disclosed. You have to find that out for yourself. So private health insurance, private pensions, and private pensions, the HR, is being run by Northamptonshire County Council as a partnership deal. What on earth? So that email, there's no way I shall be consenting. And by the way, what was that information my friend was trying to find? And just get that bit of paper. She made a note for me. Access, trying to access. I don't know what you've done with it now. Okay, was trying to access the these different call handlers meant well, don't get me wrong, but I thought, hold on, if people are disabled, they're vulnerable, right, and the disabilities, whatever it may be, you have a duty of care to make sure you receive that type of service, okay, to meet your needs. That email yesterday evening didn't mention anything about what they're going to offer, just with reasonable adjustments. I thought the call centre operators, call centre, they call it Force Control Room, FCR a short. That female mentioned nothing about access to disability access services, which is on Northamptonshire Police Force website, public funded service. You're public servants and working with the public. So, and I don't believe there will be. And by the way, to access this, what my friend also found out, keepsafenorthants.org, you don't need to be referred to anybody. You can download the documentation oneself, and if you have the contacts, you're providing your personal information, like who your carers are, you know, like your next of kin, and it's a good idea, but it's been running for a long time. Question mark on this one also, for anyone dealing with any other public services, NHS, East Midlands Ambulance Trust employees, the fire service employees, they're all linked up. Healthcare, you know, complete rundown of whole list of who they're linked into. All public services, by the way. And it's meant to be a card for those who are vulnerable, whether it's through age, learning disability. It's run by the Learning Disability Board. Again, some of these are public servants funded employees. And it's not limited to just learning disability people. The categorizations and questions on that document I might download for me is specific, and also who's involved is all these so-called charities, Mind as well. They're all linked up together. Every town and city where you are, you might find it's one similar. Okay, question mark on this one. If there's such a thing and meant to be offered adult health social care that I've been trying to do for the past year, since last September, why had nobody in the hospital either informed me about this scheme? I knew my late mum She knew about a similar scheme years ago, but I didn't quite meet that criteria them years ago. But obviously I do now. And then I find out it's been also funded and run by the Police and Crime Commissioner, public servant that people vote for in so-called elections. 2014 he's been in his position, public office, and don't know the guy, so I've got nothing to say about it really, just getting the information out. This is the information that's not been given out publicly to the public unless you source the information. Unfortunately, all due respect, got nothing against this voice of victims, I'm sure they mean well, but all due respect, I think there needs to be better training in the frontline access to their force, they call it force control room centre, call handle operators. And they have a duty of care of the Code of Victims Code, National Charter, Ministry of Justice, to inform or publicise it on the website or inform individuals if they have specific needs or disabilities, if they need additional assistance. And that should have been protocol that wasn't offered since the 24th of 12, 2018. I made inquiries. So, unfortunately, I'm not in a fit state at my health and everything else going on today. I'm not going to be calling nobody. No. The requirement is to do it by email because of specific circumstances of one's personal situation. So my mate kindly, they've already got on enough information, and I know this guy, this in stated, won't say who he is, in this email. He is just a man, employer, public servant as well. He might run a certain admin side, but there is nothing. When I've got dental ill health and glands and ill health going on, I had a medical delivery earlier today, and that female used to work in the place in my area, and she said something privately to me, and she said it's all changed, and that got me thinking. So I said it to a friend of mine today who was caring for me because I've been ill in bed again, and she said, well, let's have a check then to see if it's linked. So it's no wonder the support of the individual, a victim support as a phone line, was very helpful, and I found all this out. So I'm just making this to inform, if you're not aware, if it helps anybody else out, that what your rights are basically, because I know there's cutbacks and many services going on, but I didn't expect this to happen. I don't believe they will find anything, by the way, and it's unfortunately my mum's pendant is now gone, it's stolen, and I don't think they will find anyone on CCTV camera because they're 5G smart CCTV, and I believe I was deliberately targeted. I was targeted, you know. Unlawfully target what, just because I'm in a wheelchair and disabled, going on about my business, trying to get somewhere, and those two females without male would have deliberately done that. It's just a bloody set-up, targeted me. Evil individuals on a Christmas Eve, they get their just reward. You know, I won't get no justice at all for it again. I know that. So at least I've now found that information out, and now we'll know what's meant to happen. So, all due respect, I think what their procedure and finances cutbacks going on will mainly concentrate on those that's going to be profitable, you know, like real, you know, not to belittle what's happened to me, but like, you know, I don't know. They seem to have their own criteria, and it always seems to me like they're mates on mates contacts. So I work in public sector services, or I know my family member does, or my cousin does, or brother or sister, and they seem to help them out more than all the members of the public. God forbid. Please be safe out there. And I like to think they will do much more publicised on their IT systems for the public to be aware, especially when they got disabilities. This information wasn't available. It wasn't available just like that. And those call centre operators didn't have that information to hand. And yet they work in the call centre, the front line for the public to contact to report something that's happened. Yeah? So, of course, somebody's behind the scenes made a decision. So, and they use, if you've got credit, by the way, to ring them, 0300 number. And that's why per email, because I have not. My phone crashed last night and today. It's only just been put back and it's still not working very well. And I'm going to have to change the phone number on it because I don't know, giving out that number, that's caused my phone to crash. So that number's going to have to be changed somehow, some point. And but they've got the email to use. So my private life friends can check my emails for me, knowing how ill I am. I cannot believe this, but yet I didn't put it past them not to give me information by the way I've been treated before regarding my experiences has been really seriously been neglected by the public services employees in my area for many years, and I didn't hesitate to report what happened because obviously it's sentimental and I was deliberately targeted by that individual. But as I said, just be aware that it is not independent. It's not, because they use the word victims and witnesses within. It used to be set up. The offices years ago used to be around the corner from me, victim support, and I wondered why they closed. I wonder where they're gone. So obviously they set up this new company, and I couldn't believe that they're profiting. I just, how can they profit of people's of crime, you know, of tort, you know? If you don't know anything about statute law in common law, if you have someone that touches you without your consent, and even though it steals something off you, it's theft. And the circumstances how it happened in the street. So you want to feel safe, don't you? So common sense. I've always been common sense, and I hardly go out and about because of my situation anyway. This is so wondered why it was so strange while I was getting the hold on. Why are you deliberately ignoring my requirement, knowing they know full well, they know my details already. You know, go back on the channel, dated, there's video reference to September 2017 and what happened to me there. In common law, the police broke the door down to get the ambulance going because I ended up in a serious situation medically then. And I made it quite clear I don't consent anyone to come into my home because of my situation, my personal. I won't go into it all here. It's very highly complex. But anyway, I've got information of a different subject I will be able to use the new year to chase something else up. But for now, this is public knowledge when you research it. It's on Companies House information. It's public knowledge to download. It's nothing divulging anything that isn't public knowledge, by the way. And they assume disabled people, whatever your disabilities are, you have a family member or friend to assist you. Well, hold on. Not everybody has the same situation. So all due respect to the individual that was emailed back and offered to call them, there's no way I could do that. I'm not in a good state. So my mate did that email this afternoon for me to provide the list of requirements or questions. They call it initial assessment of need, but obviously I didn't know when my mate emailed for me, that's a limited company. So we'll just see if I get a response back by email. And don't forget these skeleton employees, be New Year coming up now, New Year's Eve and Christmas holiday, people are away from offices and public offices. So in the job role. So there's the evidence. Thank you very much, Northants Police employees, for me. Isn't it your protocol to contact, to let people know that, oh, this is a service available, victims of crime and witnesses? You know, that wasn't available. I was informed that by this national charities phone line. She didn't. And then found out more information about that. You didn't put it in an email. There was no information about support. I had to make that initial inquiry. And yeah, I had no intention to follow it through. It's all I know. So we're just going to just keep this short because they're trying to cut the stream off for some reason. So be careful out there. You don't know who you can trust. Go back to this Keep Safe card. It might be a different scheme throughout the United Kingdom in different towns and cities, but in this area they're all linked up, paid by the public purse. So they call it in statutory application form. It's already been downloaded. The information is being read. I've got that already, and that scheme is run. They call it also. I don't need that individual call centre for the police. Control room, they call it. Individual. She obviously might have been aware, might not have been aware of this individual, whoever this David is. He's not actually the one that can block me accessing the inquiry to the offer of Keep Safe Northants card. But then again, who actually runs the scheme is public funded, and it's run by Stephen Graham Mould. At the end of the day, Public Office Crime, Police and Crime Commissioner. It's run by him, as well as other, they call it other partners, i.e. public funded services employees. Okay, and just be careful what you're signing and what information you're sharing. Just enough to aid people in their job, and that's all. Take control of your own situation. I am, and I will not consent to going. As I said, I thought my friend also thought it was odd. Hold on, but you want me to go to a certain public building that I cannot cope with in certain other situations. And unfortunately, my friend said, well, no, just try to find an email. And instead of a phone call. Why is that? When we've eventually got an email, they call it force control room. That all this online AI, all this internet, all this technical day and age we're living in, why they can't use an email instead of requiring the individual, because they record your calls. Okay, they get your voice, they get your data, they can analyze your voice, your tone of voice, do all sorts. Hold on, you're the one that's experienced a crime. In their terminology in statute law, it's a tort, harm, alarm, stress in common law and in tort law. Okay, so they are the public servants in the job role. No disrespect to the word servant, but that's the job role. The public is paying their wages. They have a duty of care. And all due respect, I'm not here to criticise. I'm just stating the evidence of that one has found out. So They haven't provided by email what is a crime supervisor. That's a civil servant, not a peace officer. And claimed who will make inquiries on my behalf regarding CCTV. Well, all the 5G new modern CCTV in the area is all run by, there is a different department of a borough public services council. So that again, that has to go through protocol procedure. Now, whether or not there's anything to be identified, I doubt it, because although the technology is linked to your smartphones, they can trace you anyway. And the smart technologies work by satellites, not just mobile phone towers. So they can trace you whereabouts anyway. And they can listen into your devices with the microphones these days, the way it happens anyway. So they can hear what was said, and what I said is factual evidence anyway. I don't need to make up nothing. Anyway, what concerns me is that I required the disciplinary reasonable adjustments to assist my situation. So let's just see. I don't think anything will come off it anyway. But it's just a shame that they don't get the factual evidence out what's gone on. And for those that naysayers or blinking, you don't realise that the impact of those that's lost their loved ones, of my situation, my mum, it was sentimental as well, not just a value, but it was sentimental in what that man did. It's not going to deter me to keep on carrying on with what I'm trying to do in my daily life, despite my setbacks and my disabilities and health. So I'm just making this publicly available on his channel. And just to advise you, well, not advise, but just to state my opinion only. You can think what you want, but be aware their services are out there, but it's not readily available information. And when you are signing up or being offered to give information on the phone, it's up to you what you want to do to be advised. They're recording us, and you're just covering yourself in case mistakes happen, because these individuals are just individuals just trying to do their job, but yet they do have a duty of care when things go wrong. How much is a crime in their public role? How much are the public paying for a crime commissioner and any other senior individuals in a job role? Got nothing against they want to be members of their certain personal membership of clubs, just put it that way, without mentioning any particular links to anything, but I know certain things behind the scenes where it is anyway. But I don't give monkeys about all that anymore. I just rather well, I know I won't be able to get offered to give them services the way I need it, because they've done this deliberately to make sure others behind the scenes, not the particular ones recently, but others behind the scenes of the past year. And I know what's going on, and I know what's behind it. The fact is, when you connect the dots and you get the factual evidence, not just hearsay, just evidence of fact, which I have, and kindness on my friend, I'm going to end this now, and be careful what information you share. And what do they say? Don't talk to the police. Don't, they wear body cameras and everything. I mean, we're just getting in that kind of state the way the world is now. Everything seems to be, they say you've got nothing to hide and all this stuff. It's a bit like certain websites, isn't it, with other social media the way it is now. Everything's being monitored. So unfortunately, I don't really celebrate, Christmas, New Year and all that stuff. But they know exactly. I know certain people behind the scenes connected to certain individuals over the years, and how it works. So now they've just set it up to make profit out of the public when they're struggling. People are homeless on the streets. It's much worse than that around the country in all different parts of the world, I know. But this sickens me. But I've just got to get rest. Take care.